Hello, everybody. All right, I made myself some ice cold water and I put in a little bit of lemon juice and some stevia, which is a 0 calorie, no sugar sweetener. And hopefully, I can sip on this and be refreshed and rehydrated and go on. Okay, let's go on to alien immigration and human immigration, legal and illegal, within the context of disclosure. This is a possibility we have to look at. Um, One thing I don't mention in the book, which I think I'm going to have to write on, is that a society, a group of intelligent beings capable of crossing interstellar or intergalactic distances, galactic or intergalactic distances, actually within the galaxy would be intragalactic, and between galaxies would be intergalactic. And let's not even get into multidimensional. Um, how do you measure distance and power capability when you don't understand the physics of it? But even if you don't understand the physics of it, regardless of where aliens might come from, their interactions within our known universe and our planet would be trackable, monitorable, and we would not only be able to react to them, we'd probably have to. So, there's a lot of talk about illegal aliens and immigration and migration and things like that. I do find it a little bit of irony in this because the history of the United States is Europeans illegally immigrating into territories of other peoples, forcibly evicting them, killing them, often outright or via diseases, sometimes which were purposely brought into them. Um, all right, we tend to see the whole within the West, even those of us who are not white, and I guess, semi-European. I have a genetic test. Some of my genetics are definitely from Ireland, the Irish, Celtic, Welsh people, which I'm very proud of, by the way. And Central Asians, Turkish people, and Turkic people also do have an Indo-European admixture. But we also have Asian, Persian. Within my genetic test, I even found Jewish, which are normally not considered white people until the modern times, and even a smidgen of possibly Maori. All right, so I am the Earth. I am the history of human migration, legal immigration, and who knows, maybe illegal immigration. But it's a big deal on this planet, especially in the U.S., to the point where I think the right wants to not just prevent immigration, but start expelling people, even people that have been here for generations, because they're the wrong kind of race or religion or political orientation. And it's not going away anytime soon. But if you look at it from a global context, certain things pop out at you. For example, the First Crusade, to me and to a lot of scholars, looks suspiciously like the Middle East trying to deal with its illegal immigration problem, because Europeans basically felt like they could cross borders to make the pilgrimages to Jerusalem and other holy sites, and they didn't necessarily pay taxes, show ID. They bought and sold. Some of them stayed there, and all of this was without any permission. So you could think of it as a lot like the fate of people coming from Central and South America across the border. Think about that, all right? I know a lot of my white listeners are going to hate me for saying that, but just think about it, because if you're willing to think about aliens from other planets and dimensions as intelligent entities, who are life just like you, why not think of the other peoples of the earth that way? It'll give you new perspective and help you understand history better. I mean, the European powers fought multiple crusades to basically keep the flow of illegal immigration open. But they're like, it's justified. Those are holy places in our religion, right? We have a right to be there. What if the Mexicans declared the Southwest some kind of holy land, and that it was their right to be there, right? And what if they had the military force to enforce it, like Europe did during the Crusades? Now, I believe both the Mexicans will be driven out maybe after 100 years or so, just like in the Crusades. All right. There are probably better ways to negotiate who gets to go where and do what, and it's probably better to do it diplomatically. And folks, realistically speaking, if aliens have the ability to cross the stars, if they can cross even 40 light years away or 100 light years away, let alone 100,000, like the length of this galaxy, or millions like nearby galaxies, if they have that capacity, that much energy, industry, science, technology, then they would probably cream us in a fight. Refer back to chapter 6 when I talked about what a war of the worlds would look like. So it's probably better to have some kind of diplomatic negotiation if we can, so we can get better terms. But the truth of the matter is, at some point, somebody from somewhere will want to go to the other place. It's just human nature. Um, let's take a look at, say, why the aliens would come here. What if aliens from another part of our galaxy saw us as part of a sacred constellation, and they had some kind of religion or mythology or ideology that said that is holy to us, we need to go there, and they came here for that reason, and they're like, you're on our holy ground, we have a right to be here. We would be the Palestinians. We would be the Native Americans. We would be the Armenians. Heck, our history is filled with this. I mean, I have Turkish descent. I'm going to talk about the Armenian genocide. I always repudiate it. But what I find funny is, prior to that, as the Ottoman Empire was shrinking, that type of forcible eviction and murder happened to the Ottoman populations, the Turkic populations, for about a century. And no one calls it a genocide. A lot of this, again, I repudiate any genocide. Human beings need not be doing this to each other in a cosmos like this, with this vast amount of space and potentialities, and possibly other intelligences out there that we need to talk to and coexist with, because if they've been at this longer than us, they could destroy us just by throwing rocks fast enough. Okay? So let's talk about alien immigration. What about humans penetrating alien societies? If we make contact with a society that is just so much more technologically advanced, to the point where they have minute control over molecules, molecular structures, biology, atomic structures, subatomic structures, primordial forces of nature, there might be advantages to immigrating there, right? Kind of like someone from a poor or small town, rural area with little opportunity, little resources, or dwindling resources, and they move to the big city for an opportunity. And sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't. You hear about people from India and Pakistan, very poor people, moving to UAE and Dubai for construction projects, and some of them don't have the best conditions, all right? But some of them might be better off. They might feel better off. They might be like, I have more money, I have more food security, I have more shelter, whatever. They might not want to go back. Okay, for any number of reasons. Some might want to. I can't tell all their stories, but it's a human story, and some of them are alien to us in the U.S. We should look into what's going on in our society, and that might help us decide how we want to interact with aliens. All right. It is quite possible that large groups of humans might want to immigrate off planet to what they see as better conditions, especially especially considering the dominant form of government on this planet is what Neely Fuller calls the system of white supremacy. Um, Europeans and European Americans, by and large, have control over the planet. They have the nuclear arsenals, they have airborne forces, navies, vastly superior to anyone else in greater number and quality, and no one's really allowed to oppose that hegemony. Okay? Um, Not without a response, right? So, what if the Palestinians got an offer of refuge on another planet with far better living conditions, and they were shown evidence that that's what they would get? All right, what if Native Americans, what if they were like, hey, we got a whole empty planet you guys can colonize? It's got some life, it's got no intelligent life, it's not got no serious flora and fauna. We could help seed it for you, and in exchange for doing this work for us, we'll give you a planet. All right? That's a possibility. Conversely, what if there are alien groups that resonate with what's going on here? What if they want to live in a lower tech environment? Or what if they're an oppressed group? Who knows? It could exist. What if they're considered crazy by their civilization, but they think they have a place here? All right? Would we say yes? Would we say no? There's a lot to think about. Think about why humans migrate. Humans migrate for greater opportunities and resources, which could cause a brain drain, especially if a lot of really intelligent people want to get off this planet filled with a lot of craziness and war, and there's an alternative. Or they free from harm and oppression, danger, lack of resources, or invaders coming in and crowding them out or committing genocide on them. That's how a lot of migrations of people happened. You have the migrations of the Celts, the so-called Gypsy people, the Romani, the Turks, the Mongols, right? Even within warrior cultures, one warrior culture can become dominant in an area and drive the other warrior culture out, and they invade another culture, and because they kind of don't have a choice. All right, a lot of what goes down in history as plundering hordes of barbarians, often it's like they might have been plundered by other barbarians themselves, or there were droughts and famines and things, dying off of wildlife that they hunted, and it happens time and time again for a multitude of reasons. So there could be a multitude of reasons for people to leave this planet and for aliens to come here. And even if we controlled, even if we had a form of visa system and a form of checking in legal and illegal aliens and expelling them, it could still be an issue. We could have real illegal aliens, or we could be the illegal aliens. We could have special envoys and immigrants from other planets and dimensions seeking temporary work visas or some equivalent, or asylum or whatnot. And I'm going to close with this thought. What if a group or groups of people go off planet and they become part of another civilization, they become a subunit of it, and after generations they're still human, but they have a vastly different culture and identity than us, and they may have tampered with themselves genetically? What if they come back, either temporarily or permanently? They would be human but yet alien yet human, and they could be a tremendous influence on us, positively or negatively. All right, I'm going to terminate this section, and we're going to move on and talk about the importation of military technology and industry, which definitely deserves its own section. All right, and I may wait till tomorrow or later tonight. I've got some things to do, and I'm really mentally and physically tired. But I hope you all have a great day.